such a strange and amusing place. One day you buy him rocket ship underpants, and then the next they're in outer space. Mama, don't you know you keep the whole...
Remember these?
Yeah?
Did you used to have a diary?
Yeah.
Did you write in it?
Totally.
To think all our moms had to worry about is what we wrote in these diaries.
That's right.
Nowadays, if you were to open the equivalent...
You mean the laptop?
Yeah, it would look something like this. As moms, we're worried about what our kids are doing on the computer and online.
That's right, but if you have a PC, Windows Vista Parental Controls makes it super easy.
And you don't even need new software to use them.
Right, but before we get into the nuts and bolts of how to do it, we wanted to talk to you about why it's so important. So we invited a guest.
The guy who's been protecting Paige's son for years, the IT specialist at his high school.
That's right, because if anybody knows what's going on out there, Bob Smith does.
Yeah, so let's take a look.
Welcome, Bob.
Thank you.
Today we want to talk about what we can do at home to protect our kids.
On the computer.
Right. That's what I meant.
A big subject, a big subject. There are a lot of things. First and foremost, be aware of what your children are doing. You know, there's no trade-off for just being in there, being aware. Keep a computer in a public place.
Right. That's like number one, you know.
Number one, in my house, the computer that my children use is located in our dining room, right where it can be seen from the kitchen. You know, it's right there, and we're always kind of on background monitoring what's going on.
Right.
I would say a second thing, you know, which is a corollary to that, is don't have a computer in a bedroom.
Right.
You know, just outright. You know, it's so much
She's
easier.
flunking.
I'm flunking.
It's so much easier nowadays, especially with laptops.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
And with laptops, you know, you can carry it in there and be very private and very quiet.
Yeah. I heard a comedian say that if somebody told me there was a magic box that could show me all the naked people I ever wanted to see, I'd never come out of my room, and my mom would be knocking on the door. You haven't eaten in 2 weeks.
Right.
You know? It's true. I mean, what I think we need to remember, I mean, we all say we trust our kids and stuff, and that's great, but we have to remember that this is tempting for adults who supposedly have developed their self-control.
Yeah,
right.
And it's a portal that opens your home up to the entire world.
Anything.
Anything, good or bad.
And that portal goes both ways.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you have instances of children sending information out that really shouldn't go out. Even things like an email name. You know, I looked at an email name, you know, a couple days ago, and I mentioned to my wife, you know, take a look at this email name. What do you know from this email name? And I said, what I know is this is a girl who likes to ski, is 14 years old, and it was something else. But I could pick up 3 things right off the email
Just from
address. Just
Yeah,
the
because
email
people
address.
oftentimes like put their birth year.
Right.
And that's like, no, you know.
Yeah.
In this case, she'd put her graduation year.
Yeah.
So I can count back and say,
So
oh,
you
she's
know
14.
what grade she is in school.
Right.
You know.
And it wouldn't
And if you know where the school is, then it
Right.
doesn't take long to figure out. I mean,
Right,
if
to
you're
find
really
her.
interested in finding somebody,
Right. It's
Yeah.
not hard
that hard.
anymore.
which is scary.
Yes.
So you have to, I mean, you can't, as parents, we can't just assume that our kids know this stuff. It's,
Right.
you know, you have to sit down with your kids.
Especially things like that. They're just not really aware of what they're saying
Well, I
to the
think
world.
also there's the whole thing about, you know, what you put on your MySpace page or your Facebook page could impact college entrance.
Yes.
jobs. People are being fired for what they put on Facebook now.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
No, because what's crazy is putting it on there.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what I know, but I don't think. I think parents need. I mean, this is a whole nother area that parents need to teach their children about.
We've
Absolutely.
been referring to it as netiquette.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You know, the things that you do, you can put out there, and the things that you should never, ever, ever put out there, and the reasons why. Because, you know, no teenager thinks beyond tomorrow.
Right. I'm sometimes amazed at what my students would put on blogs.
Yeah.
You know,
Like the personal information?
personal
or...
information, but also things going on in their lives that really are private.
No, it's like they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't understand
but-
that stuff that's private should be private. Remember when we had diaries with locks on them?
Right. There are no locks on the blogs.
I know.
Or well, there are in
Well,
some
there
cases,
could.
but
I mean, you
there
can
could
do a
be.
password, but
most kids choose not to.
no, because
It's part of
it
their
makes them
interaction.
famous, you know, they get that kind of
But
attention.
I see amazing things posted on blogs.
See, and I bet you there's parents out there who have kids who have blogs that they don't know about.
Right. A Google search will do that for you.
Yeah. Well, let's think about the things that you could know about your kid. Like, part of the thing that I like about my son having a Facebook page is that, you know, he knows that I have a Facebook account. He knows that I friend him, and every time he has a friend, I friend that friend.
Right.
That means I can see the back and forth dialogue between them. And it really has helped me figure out what to talk to him about or what's going on in his life.
Or maybe those directions that he's starting to go that maybe aren't.
Maybe you want to veer this way a little bit.
Or maybe there's a friend that's starting to, you know, send some things his way
Right.
that you're not real comfortable with.
Or he's joined a group
Yeah.
that's inappropriate, and your friend
Did that.
catches it and says, "Did you know your
you
son
know
is
that
part
your
of this group?" You know, but there's things like that where if I wasn't aware, I wouldn't know to talk to him about these things. And just saying, "Hey, what's going on in your life?" He's not going to share
No,
that.
because the typical answer from a teenager is nothing.
Nothing.
I think that you've identified something very important there is the importance of keeping that communication open, because
Right.
that's the base of anything you're going to do. The students and children are savvy enough at this point, and as I've said, they know more than we do.
Right.
They're going to get around whatever roadblocks we put up somehow. I think you need to be aware the filters are not going to stop a determined effort to get through them.
Right.
You know, they'll stop the casual, accidental access.
That your younger kids might.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Not even 100% on that.
Right.
I think beyond that, I think it's necessary to put some kind of monitoring software on.
So spyware is okay with you.
Spyware is okay with me.
I'm all for
You know,
spyware
at
too.
least the good spyware.
The good
Yeah,
one,
right.
the good one that, you know, but just keeping tabs on what our kids are
Right.
doing.
I think it's necessary. I think
being able to go through and read the chats, being able to access their computer and see wherever they've been and
Right.
what they've looked at, that I think that's.
I'd rather
and
know.
like you've said, I mean, if they know that you are doing this, the chances are that they're less likely to do it.
Correct.
Right.
I think so. And that's what I've seen just working with the systems at school.
So the key is be involved. I mean, really, there's
Right.
no substitution
Well,
for that.
and educate yourself.
Yeah, you
You know,
can't
the
just
parents can't just say,
think, "Oh, well, I'm
"This
not
is-
good at that," you know.
Yeah, or this is
Or-
not my generation.
Or the
Yeah.
parents who have their students administering their computers because they're not quite sure how to do it. So the student has the administrative code.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, never. And I hear
Yeah.
this a lot. I get my girlfriend will be out running errands, and her daughter will call up and say, "Mom, I have to get on the computer to do this thing. I need your code," and she'll give it to her.
My son gets very irritated with me because when I sit down to type the code into the computer, I send him out of the room.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It's like, I'm typing the code in, go away.
Well, thank you so much for being here. This has
Certainly.
been fantastic. And if
Yeah.
you'd like to know more about parental controls, visit our website.
Mommycast.com.
Mama, don't you know you keep the whole world turning round?
Hey, everybody, it's Paige and Gretchen from mommycast.com. We have a special guest today, got Bob Smith, who's going to...
Nobody look at her.
Okay.